We got a brand new chapter starting today, and that's Chinaco is going to start working on these poles. Now, we came up with these poles when we were up in Montana, I don't know when, a long time ago, because there's a lot of poles up there. We started side passing on them, then we evolved to this, because what I'd like you to notice is the distance between each pole is not equal. That's on purpose. A large hole and a large hole are towards the gate, so it allows the horse to fall into sin, and then you can correct it, meaning it wants to leave. Now, Chinaco's had groundwork done since he was little, and we actually work him about probably once every couple months. He just turned 2. I know he's a puny little thing, but what he's getting now is he runs with the cavy, and you know we have horses coming in and out of here. So he's getting his education in that lot down there, something I can't teach him. And that's a good deal for him to get around other horses. And I wanted to tell Tanya hello, and it was nice seeing her up in Washington. And then there's Sam and Cora in northern New Mexico. Congratulations on your new bit. And Sam, I want to give you a little advice. There's 2 things. I want you to learn to listen to that cricket real close when you're using it. And the other thing is every time you leave the house to go to the corral to work a horse, you need to ask yourself, how well can I present myself? Don't go there with the attitude that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. What you need to do first is to look at yourself. So when you go by the mirror, just kind of take a glance, just a glance, and say, okay, how can I present myself really well today to my horse? And Cora can help you out with the logic of this, but the fact is, if you can teach a horse and they're a willing student, you got it. You can make a horse resentful really easy. They'll do what you want, but they're not going to like it, and they're going to be resentful. So don't get a horse resentful when you're training them. Be patient. This horse has a temper. I know that. I don't care. I don't have a temper. So it's part of the deal that I get to watch every time, and over the years, he'll always have a temper, but he's going to learn to manage his temper. My nephew Chris can attest to that. But anyway, and our friends down in Australia, we'll be there in a couple weeks or something. This is the poles we need,
5 days.
Mates. And this is what we're looking for the clinic. If you have these, it's usually 6, but because we're videoing it in here, I only put 5 down. If you put 6 down, you end up rolling them in and out, and you make a real nice area for a horse that can see to make circles. That's another story. So, this horse has not been on the logs before. So, first thing I'll do is just let him know that he can step over them. And he's been roped, sacked out. Now I'll stop him. Now I'm going to set him up. When you first start this, put the horse's head to the inside and put him in the middle of a log. Or the end. I'm going to give him direction with my left hand and impulsion with my right. The leather popper on this lead rope is the spur. The rope is the leg. And my open hand is the seat bone. I need this horse to go that way. I'm going to set him up to win because it's a very short distance. I'm standing in front so he can see me with both eyes, and I'm not going to allow him to come forward. That's his first impulse, is going to be to come forward. So I'm going to block that eye and put the pressure on this side. Now he's thinking I want him to back up. So now I can give him direction, which I just did with my left hand. He started to step over the log. So now we're in open space. The first part of this exercise is side passing only, not rearing and front end. So So now to get the hindquarter to move over, I'm going to need to put pressure on the hip without letting him walk forward. Now, in case you haven't figured it out, this is the Rubik's Cube of horsemanship. It's designed to see how good the human is. The horse is a given. This is for people so that they'll think. So now I need him to move. I'll bump his nose this way and step his hip over. You see how his ears keep going backwards and forwards? He's got a dog, he's got other horses. He's young. This is how fast this exercise starts. Now, I still need more hindquarter. Bump the nose this way. Block it. Push that right hind over. Boom, he made it. Now he's on the next log. Now if you notice his right ear, he's figured out now to start looking where he's going. I really want to be careful, and this is the biggest mistake people make, is letting the horse walk over towards you. So if you don't have any distance respect, you're going to learn to get it on these logs. There goes the skull down. Now, right ear, looking, direction, facing, impulsion. Perfect. Now when you get good at this, he'll cross the front legs and the hind legs. Once again, he understands what I'm asking. I came back in to block him because he's contemplating sin. Pressure all on the left side, which tells him to move to the right. His right ear is looking to the right. He made it. I took the pressure off. Now you got to pay attention to positive and negative. When the foot moves, if it lands forward, then his mind is telling him that the next step is going to be over the log. If it moves sideways and then reaches across, you've got the horse's brain understanding where it belongs. Now I'm going to go the other way because I only have a short distance, and I'll set him up to win one more time. I've now changed sides, and it'll be the left ear looking and the pressure coming on that side. Now once again, I've got to move that hip over. So I'll send my energy back there, and the rope. He's thinking of walking forward. Now this is the way a horse works. He made it. And Sam, this is what I'm talking about. How well can I present myself to my horse? Now you notice I never shut up when I'm doing the videos, but when I'm working a horse, I don't say anything. I don't use voice commands. If I'm driving a team, it's voice commands. I think voice commands are a lower level than a feel. Hindquarter. Left hind made it. Pressure. Pressure. Direction. Impulsion. Now, in your own little world, as you move on with this, there's three things you don't want to do. You don't want to use the tip of your lead rope all the time. You don't want them to touch a log. And you want to keep their feet moving. Well, he's not there yet. Direction, impulsion. I can watch his muscles load up to move. Impulsion. Forward is not correct. Back. Now let me show you something. These poles are round. You don't use square railroad ties. They're round because they'll catch the heel bulb and the log will roll. If you have a square one, you can cap the heel bulb or spring a shoe on like a regular tie. Now these aren't as big a diameter as I like, but they still have that curve underneath so that the heel bulb touches before the hoof does. That's one of the keys to making them respect these poles. Now, watch the left ear. There, he just now looked. That's it. That's how it's done. I can't give any bigger release than this. There's the payoff. Now we're going back to work. Direction, impulsion. Release, pressure. See how the hind foot landed forward? Get ready. I'm getting ready for him to step over the log. Good. His right hind made it. Now, I've mentioned it before, but understand that one foot can get stuck. And that one foot can outvote the other three, and the horse doesn't move. So when you see that one foot, you've got to put enough pressure back there to unlock that foot. I'm going to ask him to move his hindquarter over and side pass. Now this time, I'm going to try to keep his feet moving until he gets on the next log. I use the word try because I'm not saying he's going to do it. It's not like we're in a competition here. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Here it comes. Thank you so much. Let's go. You're fine. Go. Hip. Go. Hip. That's good. Now there's no resentment. Okay? You're going to have those days when you come up here and he says, no, I'm not doing anything. Well, okay. That's when you take a deep breath and then you represent it. And he in fact does whatever it is you ask. You can't hold it against a horse for testing you. All you got to do is be consistent and don't buy into their deal. The most important part of this exercise is do not allow a horse to walk forward over the log. Because as soon as they do, then they figure they can do it all the time. So that's why I'm standing in front to block that. When this is over, and I've got this colt side passing all the way around, I'm going to be standing in the middle of the corral. I'll show you. He can't take it now, but I'm going to be standing here sending this colt around. And he's going to side pass, and all I got to do is this. That's a level when you find out how well you're doing at this. I'm going to go back the other way. I'm about 8 inches farther away than I was originally. Pressure. He knows what to do. There's no doubt in his mind. Pressure. Lift for the hindquarter. Pressure. Searching. Left hind. There. Pressure. Here it comes. Here it comes. Hindquarter. Now that, what you just watched, is real. That's reality. In other words, you're going to do this and it's going to be really neat and you want everybody to pause and clap. Well, you're also going to run into that. So when you run into that, you just take them through the tunnel, out the other side, and then give them a release. This is all about side passing. So now I know that he knows what it is I'm asking. Now I'm going to ask with less spur and more feel. Here comes the spur. Here it comes. Tip the nose for the hindquarter. Now this is going to be the same thing as the Puckett on the Bosal. Here it comes. Don't go forward. Now step over. The logs help keep them stabilized. It gives them a visual to work with. Now we'll go back. He was already thinking of leaving. He thinks it's over. He's had enough of this. Trying his options. Now bear in mind, he knows what to do. He's just working on his own personal agenda of whether he wants to do it or not. Here's the real deal right there. Very nice. Now, for those of you that are real big on perfection, if you expect perfection the first time you do this, you might as well quit. My hands are below my belt, which means I'm not asking anything. I'm about to change my body and explain to this horse, we're back to work. Let's go. There's the direction. Here's impulsion. Thank you. Go. Keep going. Here it comes. Thank you so much. Keep going. Here it comes. Hip. Front leg. Hip. Now, if you would, please go back the other way. Here it comes. He made a decision there for a second about this whole program. Then he made it. Here it comes. Here it comes. You're good. You did fine. You did just fine. Now, Sam, that was a lesson on side passing. There's no resentment. He's like, okay, that's what you want. So now you carry this to knowing that I'm going to be riding in a bosal, and when I pick up this rope, it's going to mean something because I'm going to lay my reins for my bosal down on the neck. And then when I pick him up, it's going to be the exact same thing as me picking it up here. I'm preparing him for the bosal, which will be a year from now. So that's the basis of this. Now, later on, he's going to walk his front end through that hole, walk his rear end over, and be on the next log with his head on the outside. Then he's going to go past that log, run his rear end through, front end over, and have his head to the inside, all the way around both directions. And that's when I know that he's got it. And I'm not going to drill him after he gets it. Because what they'll do is they'll turn into a parlor trick, like Liberty training. They'll just come up and they'll just start doing the logs. You can go sit down. That's not what I want. Okay, folks. Thank you very much. Remember what the guitar said to the banjo. Stay tuned. I made that up. Wasn't that something?
Yeah, something.